The phone call came on a sunny Thursday morning. My daughter's voice was cold as ice. "Mom, we need to talk about the baby shower," she said. I was sitting in my little kitchen, making tea like every morning for 60 years. The same blue cup, the same honey spoon. But today felt different. "What about it, sweetheart?" I asked, stirring my tea slowly. There was a long pause. Then she said words that cut through my heart like a sharp knife. "We don't want you there." I almost dropped my cup. The tea was still hot, but suddenly I felt so cold inside. "What do you mean?" I whispered. My hands started shaking. She sighed like I was bothering her. "Mom, you always make everything about you. This is my day. My baby shower. I want it to be perfect." I looked around my empty kitchen. The same kitchen where I made her breakfast every morning for 18 years. Where I helped her with homework. Where I held her when boys broke her heart. "But honey," I said quietly, "I'm your mother. I raised you all by myself after Daddy died." She laughed, but it wasn't a happy laugh. It was mean and sharp. "That's exactly what I'm talking about. You always bring up the past. You always make it about how hard your life was. Well, guess what? I don't care anymore." The words hit me like stones. Each one hurt more than the last. I felt tears starting to fill my eyes. "Sarah," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "I never meant to make anything about me. I just wanted to be part of your special day." But she wasn't listening anymore. "No, Mum. Just no. I've made up my mind. You can send a gift if you want, but don't come to the shower. Don't embarrass me in front of my friends." Then she hung up. The phone went quiet. I sat there holding it, listening to nothing. The kitchen felt bigger suddenly. Empty and sad. I put the phone down slowly. My tea was getting cold, just like my heart. I walked to the window and looked outside. Kids were playing in the park across the street. Their mothers were watching them, smiling and laughing. I remembered when Sarah was that small. How she used to run to me when she got scared. How she called me Mommy in her sweet little voice. Now she couldn't even stand to have me at her baby shower. I touched the glass window and felt how cold it was. That afternoon I went to my bedroom and opened my old photo albums. Page after page of memories. Sarah's first steps. Her first day of school. Her high school graduation. In every picture it was just me and her. After her dad died when she was 5, it was always just us two. I worked 3 jobs to pay for her dance lessons. I stayed up all night when she was sick. I cheered the loudest at every school play. But now she said I made everything about me. Maybe I did. Maybe I talked too much about the old days. The next morning I decided to go shopping anyway. Not for Sarah's baby shower. She made it clear I wasn't welcome. But for my future grandchild. I went to the big baby store downtown. Everything was so bright and colorful. Tiny clothes and soft blankets. I picked out a beautiful white dress with little yellow flowers. It reminded me of the dress I bought Sarah when she was born. I also bought a soft teddy bear and a book of lullabies. The same book I used to read to Sarah every night. At the checkout, the young girl smiled at me. "Are these for a baby shower?" she asked sweetly. Paused for a moment. "Yes," I said finally. "For my daughter's baby shower." But I didn't tell her I wasn't invited. Some hurts are too deep to share with strangers. I paid for everything and walked home slowly. The bags felt heavy in my hands. Not because they weighed a lot, but because they carried so much sadness. That weekend was the baby shower. I knew because all of Sarah's friends posted pictures online. I saw the pink decorations, the beautiful cake, all the happy faces. Sarah looked so pretty in her yellow dress. She was glowing like all pregnant mothers do. I zoomed in on every picture, looking for signs of sadness. Maybe she missed me just a little. But no. She looked perfectly happy without me there. I closed the computer and went to make dinner for one. Again. 2 weeks later, Sarah called again. This time her voice was different. Softer. "Mom," she said quietly. "I need to talk to you." My heart jumped. Maybe she realized she was wrong. Maybe she missed me. "What is it, honey?" I asked, trying not to sound too excited. I'm having problems with the baby, she said. The doctor says I need to rest. Complete bed rest for the next month. I gripped the phone tighter. Oh no. Is the baby okay? The baby's fine, she said. But I can't work. Can't clean. I can't do anything. Then came the words I was both hoping for and dreading. Mom, I need your help. There it was. After all those mean words, after telling me I made everything about myself, now she needed me. Part of me wanted to say no, to hurt her like she hurt me. But I looked at the baby gifts sitting on my kitchen table. The white dress, the teddy bear, the book of lullabies. Of course, sweetheart, I said. I'll be right over. I packed my bags and moved into Sarah's apartment for the next month. Every morning I made her breakfast in bed. I cleaned her house. I did her laundry. I went grocery shopping. I cooked all her favorite meals from when she was little. Chicken soup when she felt sick. Chocolate chip cookies when she was sad. I rubbed her feet when they were swollen. I read to her when she was bored. Just like when she was my little girl again. First, Sarah barely talked to me. She said thank you when I brought her food. She nodded when I asked if she needed anything. But slowly, day by day, the ice between us started to melt. One evening, I was reading a book in the living room when I heard her crying. I rushed to her bedroom. What's wrong? Is it the baby? She shook her head. I'm scared, Mom, she whispered. What if I'm a terrible mother? What if I can't do this? I sat on her bed and held her hand. Oh, honey, you're going to be wonderful. How do you know? She asked, tears rolling down her cheeks. I smiled and brushed her hair away from her face. Because I was scared too when you were born. I was only 22. Your dad had just died. I didn't know anything about babies. But you know what? Love teaches you everything you need to know. And you have so much love in your heart. She squeezed my hand. I'm sorry, Mom, she said quietly. For what I said about the baby shower. For being so mean to you. I felt tears in my own eyes now. You don't have to apologize, I said. Sometimes we say things when we're scared or stressed. I understand. But Sarah shook her head. No, Mom. Was wrong. You gave up everything for me when I was little. You worked so hard to take care of me. You never missed a single important day in my life. And then when it was time for my important day, I pushed you away. She started crying harder. I was embarrassed because some of my friends have rich parents, big houses, fancy cars, and I was ashamed that my mom worked at the grocery store. Those words hurt, but I understood. When you're young, you want to impress people. You want to fit in. Sarah, I said gently, I may not have a big house or a fancy car, but everything I did for you. Every extra shift I worked was to pay for your school clothes. Every tired night was worth it when you smiled. She nodded, still crying. I know, Mom. I know now. And I'm so sorry I forgot. We held each other for a long time. Outside, it started to rain softly against the windows. The next few days were different. Sarah talked to me more. She asked me to tell her stories about when she was little. She wanted to know about her father, who died when she was too young to remember him. Tell me about the day I was born, she said one afternoon. So I told her everything. How scared I was. How beautiful she looked. How her tiny hand grabbed my finger so tight. Your dad would have loved you so much, I said. He always wanted a little girl to spoil. One morning, Sarah asked me to help her set up the baby's room. We spent the whole day painting and decorating. She let me pick out the curtains. Together, we put together the crib and organized all the tiny clothes. Mom, she said, holding up a little pink outfit, will you teach me how to be a good mother like you were? My heart felt so full I thought it might burst. Honey, you already know how. Just love your baby with all your heart. The rest will come naturally. That evening, Sarah showed me the pictures from her baby shower on her phone. I wish you had been there, she said sadly. It would have been perfect with you there. I looked at all the happy faces in the pictures. It looked like a beautiful party, I said. Your friends love you very much. Sarah put the phone down. But they don't love me like you do, Mom. Nobody ever will. He paused. I want to have another baby shower. Small one. Just for us. Will you help me plan it? My eyes filled with happy tears. Are you sure? Yes. Sarah nodded. I want to celebrate this baby with you, not without you. You're going to be a grandmother. That's important. You're important. So we planned a little party for the next weekend. Just Sarah, me, and a few of her closest friends. I made all her favorite foods. We played simple games. Everyone brought advice for the new mom. But the best part was when Sarah stood up and said, I want everyone to know that my mom is my hero. She raised me all by herself, Sarah continued. She worked 3 jobs. She never missed a school play or a soccer game. She taught me how to be strong and independent. And now she's going to help me raise my baby too. She looked at me with tears in her eyes. I love you, Mom. I'm sorry it took me so long to say it the right way. Everyone clapped, but I only heard my daughter's words. After all the hurt, after all the sadness, we found our way back to each other. 3 weeks later, Sarah went into labor. I drove her to the hospital at 3 in the morning. She held my hand tight during every contraction. Don't leave me, Mom, she said. Please don't leave me. And I didn't. I stayed right beside her for 12 long hours. When my grandson finally arrived, tiny and perfect and crying loudly, the first thing Sarah said was, Mom, look what we did. Not look what I did, but look what we did. Because she finally understood. Family is a team. Holding that tiny baby boy in my arms, I felt complete again. He had Sarah's nose and her father's eyes. Hello, little one, I whispered. I'm your grandma. I've been waiting so long to meet you. Sarah watched me with a soft smile. What should we call him? She asked. I looked down at the precious bundle in my arms. What about David? I suggested. After your father. Sarah's eyes filled with tears again, but happy ones this time. David it is, she said. David James after Daddy. The next few months were the happiest of my life. I helped Sarah with everything. Night feedings, diaper changes, bath time. Little David grew so fast. Every day brought something new. His first smile. His first laugh. His first word, which was Mama. But I pretended it might have been Grandma. Sarah and I took turns reading him the book of lullabies I had bought all those months ago. The same songs I used to sing to her when she was small. 1 year later, Sarah planned a first birthday party for David. This time I was not only invited. I helped plan everything. We made the cake together. We decorated the house together. We laughed as David smashed frosting all over his face and hands. All the friends who came to the party knew me now. They called me Grandma Betty and asked for my advice about their own children. I felt like I belonged again, like I mattered. That night, after all the guests went home and David was sleeping peacefully in his crib, Sarah and I sat on her couch drinking tea. Mom, she said quietly, I learned something important this year. I looked at her, curious. What's that, honey? She took a deep breath. I learned that when you love someone, you don't push them away when things get hard. You pull them closer. I almost lost the most important person in my life because I was too proud to admit I needed you. We all make mistakes, I said, patting her hand. The important thing is that we learn from them. Sarah nodded. I want David to grow up knowing how special his grandma is. I want him to know that you're not just my mother. You're my best friend too. She paused and smiled. And I want to be the kind of mother to him that you were to me. Patient and loving and always there. My heart felt so warm and full. This was all I had ever wanted. Not just to be needed but to be valued. 2 years passed. David learned to walk and talk and run around like a little tornado. Sarah got married to a good man who loved both her and David like his own son. At their wedding, Sarah asked me to give a speech. I stood up in front of all their friends and family, feeling nervous but proud. When Sarah was little, I began. She used to ask me to tell her stories every night. Tonight I want to tell you all her story. The story of a strong, beautiful woman who learned that love isn't about perfection. Love is about forgiveness, I continued. It's about second chances. It's about admitting when you're wrong and choosing to do better. Sarah taught me that this year. She showed me that even when hearts are broken, they can heal stronger than before. I looked at my daughter, so beautiful in her white dress, holding her new husband's hand. I'm proud to be Sarah's mother. And I'm grateful every day that she chose to let me back into her heart. Everyone clapped, but Sarah just smiled at me with tears in her eyes. Now, 5 years after that terrible phone call about the baby shower, Sarah and I talk every single day. Sometimes it's just to say good morning. Sometimes it's to ask for advice. Sometimes it's just to hear each other's voices. David, now 6 years old, spends every Saturday at my house. We bake cookies and read stories and play games in the park. He tells me I'm his favorite grandma in the whole world, even though I'm his only grandma. But that's okay. I'll take it. Last week, Sarah called with exciting news. "Mom," she said, and I could hear the smile in her voice. "We're having another baby." My heart jumped with joy. "Oh, honey, that's wonderful. And this time," she said, "I want you to plan the baby shower. Everything. The decorations, the food, the games. Everything." I felt tears of happiness fill my eyes. "Are you sure?" "Yes. I'm positive," she said. "Nobody throws a party like my mom. And this baby is going to be so lucky to have you as a grandma." As I write this story, sitting in my little kitchen with my blue teacup and honey spoon, I think about all the mothers out there who feel forgotten or pushed away. I want you to know that love always finds a way back home. Sometimes our children need to grow up a little before they understand how much we sacrificed for them. Sometimes they need to become parents themselves before they realize that love isn't perfect, but it's constant. Don't give up. Don't stop loving. Your children will come back to you when they're ready. The baby shower is next month. Sarah wants pink and yellow decorations because they don't know if it's a boy or girl yet. She wants me to make my famous chocolate cake and play the same games we played at David's first birthday party. Most importantly, she wants me to be right beside her when she opens every gift. "I want everyone to see how proud I am of my mom," she told me. And you know what? I am proud of us, both of us, for finding our way back to each other. Sometimes people ask me how I forgave Sarah so easily. How I didn't stay angry about being excluded from such an important day. The answer is simple. Love doesn't keep score. When you truly love someone, you don't love them because they're perfect. You love them because they're yours. Sarah is my daughter. She always was and always will be. Even when she hurt me, even when she pushed me away, she was still my little girl who needed her mama. I learned something important too during all of this. I learned that sometimes we do make things about ourselves without meaning to. When I talked about my sacrifices, I thought I was showing Sarah how much I loved her. But sometimes it felt like guilt to her. Sometimes children need to know they're loved without feeling like they owe us something for that love. Love should be freely given, not used as a tool to make people feel bad. That was my lesson to learn. These days, when Sarah tells people about me, she doesn't say, "This is my mom who worked 3 jobs." She says, "This is my mom who taught me everything I know about love." That difference means everything to me. I don't need credit for my sacrifices anymore. I just need to know that my love made a difference. That it helped shape her into the amazing mother and woman she is today. That's worth more than any thank you or recognition. Little David asked me last week why some of his friends don't have grandparents. I told him that sometimes families are complicated. Sometimes people live far away or have disagreements. But, I said, the most important thing is that the people who love you never really leave. They might go away for a while, but love always brings them back. He thought about this very seriously, then nodded. Like when I get mad at mommy but then I want her to hug me? Exactly like that, I said. Even children understand that love is stronger than anger. Next week, Sarah is taking me to see the new baby's first ultrasound. We're going to find out if David is getting a little brother or sister. No matter what, I know this child will grow up knowing they're loved by their grandma. They'll hear stories about their family. They'll know about their grandfather who died too young but would have loved them so much. They'll understand that families aren't perfect, but they're precious. And they're always worth fighting for. To all the mothers reading this who feel rejected or forgotten by their grown children, I want to leave you with this hope. Children who were truly loved always remember. It might take them months or years or even decades, but they remember. They remember who stayed up all night when they were sick. They remember who cheered loudest at their games. They remember who sacrificed so they could have better lives. And one day when they need you most, they'll call. Be ready to answer. Love doesn't have an expiration date. It doesn't fade with time or disappear with harsh words. Real love, the kind between a mother and child, is like a river that keeps flowing even when rocks try to block its path. Finds a way around. Finds a way through. It never stops moving toward the ocean of forgiveness and understanding. Sarah and I found our ocean. We're swimming in it together now, with David and his new sibling, building new memories on the foundation of old love. When Sarah was little and had bad dreams, I used to tell her that morning always comes after the darkest night, that the sun never forgets to rise. Love is like that sun. It might be hidden by clouds of anger or hurt or misunderstanding, but it's always there, waiting to shine again. Our dark night lasted almost 2 years, but our morning came, brighter and more beautiful than ever before. And now we know that no matter what storms come, we'll weather them together. I keep the baby gifts I bought for Sarah's first shower in a special closet. The white dress with yellow flowers. The soft teddy bear. The book of lullabies. They're faded now and a little worn, but they're reminders of hope kept alive during dark times. Sometimes Sarah finds me looking at them. You never gave up on us, did you, Mom? She asks. Never, I tell her. Not for one single day. Because that's what mothers do. We keep hoping. We keep loving. We keep believing that tomorrow will be better than today. The other day, David asked Sarah why I live alone instead of with their family. Sarah looked at me and said, because Grandma taught me that love doesn't mean holding on too tight. Sometimes love means giving people space to grow and come back to you when they're ready. Then she smiled. But maybe someday, when Grandma is older, she might want to live closer to us. I pretended to think about it seriously, then said, well, someone will have to help me spoil all these grandchildren I'm going to have. As I finish writing this story, the phone rings. Sarah, of course. She calls every evening now to say good night. How was your day, Mom? She asks, just like I used to ask her when she was small. We talk about little things. What David learned in school. How the new baby is growing. What we want to cook for Sunday dinner. Simple conversations that mean everything because they're filled with love. Before we hang up, she always says the same thing. I love you, Mom. Thank you for never giving up on me. And I always answer the same way. I love you too, sweetheart. I'll never give up on you. Because that's the promise every mother makes when she first holds her child. Through good times and bad times, through mistakes and triumphs, through hurt and healing, we never give up. We keep loving. We keep hoping. We keep believing in the power of second chances. Sarah gave me a second chance and I gave her one too. That's how families heal. One conversation at a time. One hug at a time. One I love you at a time. Some people might think I was too easy on Sarah. That I should have made her apologize more or suffer longer for hurting me. But I learned that forgiveness isn't about making people pay for their mistakes. It's about freeing yourself from the pain of holding grudges. When I forgave Sarah, I didn't just give her a gift. I gave myself one too. The gift of joy. The gift of family. The gift of watching my daughter become an amazing mother. The gift of being Grandma Betty to the sweetest little boy in the world. Tomorrow is Saturday, which means David Day. He'll knock on my door at exactly 9 o'clock in the morning, just like he has every Saturday for 3 years. We'll make pancakes shaped like animals. We'll read stories about brave knights and clever princesses. We'll play games in the backyard until he gets tired and falls asleep on my couch while I stroke his soft hair. These are the moments that make all the hurt worth it. These are the moments I dreamed about during those dark days when I thought I had lost my family forever. Love stories don't always look like what we see in movies. Sometimes the greatest love story is between a mother and daughter who lost each other and found their way back home. Sometimes it's about forgiveness and second chances and learning that pride is not worth more than family. Sometimes it's about grandmothers and grandsons making pancakes on Saturday mornings. Love comes in many forms, but the strongest kind is the kind that survives the worst storms and still shines bright. If you're a mother who feels forgotten, if you're a daughter who said things you regret, if you're anyone who thinks a relationship is too broken to fix, remember this. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love never gives up. Love never loses hope. Love endures through everything. Pick up that phone. Write that letter. Knock on that door. Say, I'm sorry. Say, I love you. Say, I miss you. Life is too short and love is too precious to waste on stubborn pride. In exactly 4 months, I'll become a grandmother again. This time, I'll be in the delivery room holding Sarah's hand. This time, I'll be the first person after the parents to hold that precious baby. This time, I'll help plan the welcome home party and organize the nursery and rock that little one to sleep with the same lullabies I sang to Sarah and David. This time, I won't miss a single moment because I'm not just the grandmother. I'm family. And family sticks together through everything. The baby's room is already painted a soft green color that works for either a boy or girl. Sarah let me choose the color. You have good taste, Mom, she said when we finished painting. You always did. The crib is white with tiny stars carved into the headboard. The mobile plays, Twinkle, Twinkle Little Star, the same song I hummed to Sarah when she couldn't sleep. Everything old is new again. Every hurt has become a blessing. Every ending has become a beginning. Sometimes when I'm holding David and he falls asleep in my arms, I think about all the mothers and grandmothers who don't get these moments, who lost their children to pride or anger or misunderstanding, who wake up every day hoping the phone will ring, who see pictures of grandchildren online but never get to hold them. My heart aches for them because I know how close I came to being one of them. How easily this story could have had a different ending if Sarah hadn't been brave enough to ask for help. Pride is a dangerous thing. It makes us say words we don't mean and build walls where there should be bridges. Both Sarah and I had too much pride at first. She was too proud to admit she needed me. I was too proud to admit I sometimes made things about myself instead of about her. But love is stronger than pride. Love is stronger than hurt feelings. Love is stronger than anything that tries to tear families apart. When we finally put love first, everything else fell into place. As I finish writing this story, the phone rings. Sarah, of course. She calls every evening now to say good night. How was your day, Mom? She asks, just like I used to ask her when she was small. We talk about little things. What David learned in school. How the new baby is growing. What we want to cook for Sunday dinner. Simple conversations that mean everything because they're filled with love. Before we hang up, she always says the same thing. I love you, Mom. Thank you for never giving up on me. And I always answer the same way. I love you too, sweetheart. I'll never give up on you. Because that's the promise every mother makes when she first holds her child. Through good times and bad times, through mistakes and triumphs, through hurt and healing, we never give up. We keep loving. We keep hoping. We keep believing in the power of second chances. Sarah gave me a second chance and I gave her one too. That's how families heal. One conversation at a time. One hug at a time. One I love you at a time. Some people might think I was too easy on Sarah. That I should have made her apologize more or suffer longer for hurting me. But I learned that forgiveness isn't about making people pay for their mistakes. It's about freeing yourself from the pain of holding grudges. When I forgave Sarah, I didn't just give her a gift. I gave myself one too. The gift of joy. The gift of family. The gift of watching my daughter become an amazing mother. The gift of being Grandma Betty to the sweetest little boy in the world. Tomorrow is Saturday, which means David Day. He'll knock on my door at exactly 9 o'clock in the morning, just like he has every Saturday for 3 years. We'll make pancakes shaped like animals. We'll read stories about brave knights and clever princesses. We'll play games in the backyard until he gets tired and falls asleep on my couch while I stroke his soft hair. These are the moments that make all the hurt worth it. These are the moments I dreamed about during those dark days when I thought I had lost my family forever. Love stories don't always look like what we see in movies. Sometimes the greatest love story is between a mother and daughter who lost each other and found their way back home. Sometimes it's about forgiveness and second chances and learning that pride is not worth more than family. Sometimes it's about grandmothers and grandsons making pancakes on Saturday mornings. Love comes in many forms, but the strongest kind is the kind that survives the worst storms and still shines bright. If you're a mother who feels forgotten, if you're a daughter who said things you regret, if you're anyone who thinks a relationship is too broken to fix, remember this. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love never gives up. Love never loses hope. Love endures through everything. Pick up that phone. Write that letter. Knock on that door. Say, I'm sorry. Say, I love you. Say, I miss you. Life is too short and love is too precious to waste on stubborn pride. In exactly 4 months, I'll become a grandmother again. This time, I'll be in the delivery room holding Sarah's hand. This time, I'll be the first person after the parents to hold that precious baby. This time, I'll help plan the welcome home party and organize the nursery and rock that little one to sleep with the same lullabies I sang to Sarah and David. This time, I won't miss a single moment because I'm not just the grandmother. I'm family. And family sticks together through everything. The baby's room is already painted a soft green color that works for either a boy or girl. Sarah let me choose the color. You have good taste, Mom, she said when we finished painting. You always did. The crib is white with tiny stars carved into the headboard. The mobile plays, Twinkle, Twinkle Little Star, the same song I hummed to Sarah when she couldn't sleep. Everything old is new again. Every hurt has become a blessing. Every ending has become a beginning. Sometimes when I'm holding David and he falls asleep in my arms, I think about all the mothers and grandmothers who don't get these moments, who lost their children to pride or anger or misunderstanding, who wake up every day hoping the phone will ring, who see pictures of grandchildren online but never get to hold them. My heart aches for them because I know how close I came to being one of them. How easily this story could have had a different ending if Sarah hadn't been brave enough to ask for help. Pride is a dangerous thing. It makes us say words we don't mean and build walls where there should be bridges. Both Sarah and I had too much pride at first. She was too proud to admit she needed me. I was too proud to admit I sometimes made things about myself instead of about her. But love is stronger than pride. Love is stronger than hurt feelings. Love is stronger than anything that tries to tear families apart. When we finally put love first, everything else fell into place. The best part about our story is that it's not over yet. There are still birthday parties to plan and Christmas mornings to share. There are still bedtime stories to read and scraped knees to kiss better. There are still conversations to have and memories to make. David will grow up and maybe have children of his own someday. The new baby will take first steps and say first words and graduate from school. And I'll be there for all of it, not as an outsider looking in, but as grandma. Family. Every mother reading this story has her own version of pain and hope. Maybe your children live far away. Maybe they're too busy to call. Maybe harsh words were spoken that haven't been taken back yet. Maybe you feel like you're bothering them when you reach out. I want you to know that your love matters. Your children remember more than they show. The investments you made in their hearts when they were small are still there, even if they seem buried sometimes under adult worries and responsibilities. Don't stop being their mother just because they're grown up. Don't stop calling just because they seem too busy to talk. Don't stop loving just because love gets complicated sometimes. Send those text messages. Mail those birthday cards. Show up when they need you, even if they don't ask nicely. Forgive the harsh words. Remember that grown-up children are still children sometimes, especially when they're scared or overwhelmed. They need their mommies even when they pretend they don't. Sarah told me recently that becoming a mother herself made her understand everything differently. I didn't know what real love was until I had David, she said. And then I realized that's how you felt about me from the very beginning. That fierce, protective, would do anything for you love. He paused. I'm sorry it took me so long to understand. But I told her the truth. Honey, some lessons can only be learned through experience. You had to become a mother to understand what being a mother means. This is why I believe that most family feuds eventually heal themselves. Because love planted in childhood has deep roots. It might get covered over by weeds of pride or misunderstanding, but it's still there, still growing, still reaching toward the light. When David was born, Sarah finally understood the depth of love a mother carries. When she needed help during her difficult pregnancy, she remembered who had always been there before. Love called her home. Next month we're taking a family vacation to the beach. 3 generations together. Me, Sarah and her husband, David, and Sarah's growing belly. We're renting a little house right on the sand where David can build castles and chase waves. I'll sit in a beach chair watching my family play, feeling grateful for every moment. Not long ago I thought I might never see Sarah again. Now we're planning vacations together. Life can change so quickly when hearts change first. I've learned to be more careful with my words now. Instead of talking about my sacrifices, I talk about my joy. Instead of reminding Sarah how hard things used to be, I focus on how good they are now. Instead of making memories about me, I let them be about all of us together. This doesn't mean pretending the past didn't happen. It means choosing to build the future on love instead of on old hurts. It means putting the family first and my pride second. The truth is, every parent makes mistakes. We try so hard to do everything right that sometimes we do everything wrong instead. We hover too much or not enough. We give advice when they want support. We try to fix things when they just want us to listen. But children who are truly loved learn to forgive their parents' imperfections, just like parents learn to forgive their children's mistakes. Forgiveness is what keeps families together through all the mess and beauty of real life. David helps me understand this every day. When I make mistakes with him, when I worry too much or spoil him too much or tell him the same story twice, he just hugs me and says, "It's okay, Grandma. I love you anyway." Children are natural forgivers. Adults learn to hold grudges. But deep down we all want to be like children again. Quick to forgive, slow to anger, ready to love without conditions. Last Sunday we had dinner together like we do every week now. Sarah made my famous pot roast recipe, the one I taught her when she was 12. David helped set the table, putting the forks on the wrong side like he always does. Sarah's husband told jokes that made us all laugh until our bellies hurt. And I sat there thinking, this is what happiness looks like. Not a perfect family but a real family. Not a family without problems, but a family that works through problems together. After dinner, we looked through old photo albums together. David pointed to pictures of Sarah as a little girl and said, "Mommy, you look just like me." Sarah laughed and said, "And you look just like your grandpa." We spent an hour telling stories about the past, but this time they were happy stories. Stories about love and laughter and growing up together. The sad stories are still there, but they don't hurt anymore. They're just part of our journey home to each other. When it was time for them to go home, David gave me his usual big hug and said, "I love you, Grandma. See you Saturday." Sarah hugged me too and whispered, "Thank you for being the best mom and grandma in the world." As I watched them drive away, their car lights disappearing into the darkness, I felt complete. My kitchen might be quiet, but my heart is full. My house might be empty, but my life is overflowing with love. Some nights I still think about that terrible phone call 2 years ago. The one where Sarah told me not to come to her baby shower. How broken I felt. How alone. How sure I was that I had lost my daughter forever. If someone had told me then that we would be closer than ever now, I wouldn't have believed them. But that's the thing about love. It's full of surprises. Can break your heart one day and heal it the next. Can push you away and pull you back home again. The baby is due in 2 months. Sarah and I go to every doctor appointment together now. We hold hands during the ultrasounds and cry happy tears when we hear the heartbeat. This little person doesn't know it yet, but they're already so loved. By their mommy and daddy. By their big brother David. And by their grandma who will spoil them rotten and read them bedtime stories and teach them that love always wins in the end. I've started writing letters to this new grandbaby, just like I did for David when Sarah was pregnant with him. Letters about our family. About their mommy who learned that love is more important than pride. About their grandpa in heaven who would have loved them so much. About their big brother who is already planning to share his toys. And about their grandma who waited so long to meet them and promises to love them forever and always, no matter what. When people ask me for advice about difficult relationships with their adult children, I tell them what I learned. Sometimes love means stepping back. Sometimes it means being patient. Sometimes it means swallowing your pride and apologizing first. But it never means giving up. Never means stopping hoping. Never means loving less. Love is the one thing we never run out of, no matter how much we give away. Tomorrow is a new day. Sarah will call me in the morning like she always does. David will ask if we can make dinosaur pancakes on Saturday. The baby will kick in Sarah's belly, reminding us all that new life is coming soon. And I'll sit in my little kitchen with my blue teacup and honey spoon, grateful for every moment, every phone call, every hug, every chance to love and be loved in return. This story started with a phone call that broke my heart. But it doesn't end there. It ends with healing, with forgiveness, with second chances, with a family that learned to choose love over pride. With a grandmother who gets to watch her grandbaby take his first steps and say his first words. With a daughter who finally understands that her mother's love was never a burden. It was a gift. To every mother reading this who feels rejected or forgotten, your story isn't over yet. To every daughter who said harsh words she regrets, it's not too late to say you're sorry. To every family torn apart by pride or misunderstanding, love is still there, waiting to heal what's broken. Don't give up on each other. Don't let pride win over love. Don't let another day pass without reaching out to say, I love you, miss you. Let's find our way back to each other. Because in the end, that's all that really matters. Not who was right or wrong. Not who hurt who first. Not who should apologize first. What matters is love. What matters is family. What matters is the willingness to forgive and start over and build something beautiful together. Sarah and I did it. So can you. Love always finds a way home. Always. And when it does, when your children call and say they need you, when your grandchildren run into your arms, when your family gathers around your table again, you'll know it was worth the wait. Every tear, every lonely night, every prayer for reconciliation. All of it worth this moment of coming home to love.